Your attention, please. And now, on with the show.
Hey guys, welcome to Under the Radar. I'm your host Randy Unger, where we talk all things film. But tonight we're going to try something a little different. I want to do an action figure discussion segment called Off the Hook, because of course action figures are displayed on hooks. And I have with me a wonderful panel of guest critics, formerly movie critics, but tonight action figure critics. So I've got Forrest Bennett. Hello.
Hey Randy.
How's it going?
Good. I'm still broadcasting from my parents' place in Virginia.
Right. Me too. I'm in my bedroom. It's totally fine. I'm getting used to it. Thomas Puglisi, hello.
How's it going, Randy?
I love where you're at right now. That's your backyard?
Yeah, it's the backyard. So you can see some porch lights right there.
Looks good.
As well as also fence. You see a tree, of course, in the background as well.
It looks very comfortable.
There is. Nice day as well.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, Mr. Matt Haberman. Hey, Matt. How's it going over there?
Oh, it's going all right. Just a few doors down the block. So let's hope that this thing is going to be out of the way soon, so we're all back together.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the best we can do, in terms of doing a show and being together. And I just want to thank all you guys for your time tonight. So let's have some fun. So, I mean, action figures, toys, we grew up with them. We still live with them. This show is going to be very nostalgic. And, I think ever since I can remember, maybe since the age of 4, I've been collecting Batman figures and Ghostbusters figures, I think the first figures I ever had were Toybiz's Batman line and the superhero line, and also the real Ghostbusters by Kenner. And guys, I just want to know, what do you remember as your very first action figure, Forrest?
For me, my first action figures. Let's see. I know I had. For me, it was among them was the Toybiz Batman. I had Batman and the Joker and the Penguin. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had. I didn't have a whole lot of them, but I did. But I remember my grandfather giving me a football player Leonardo and a rock star Raphael.
Yeah.
And then also a baseball player, Raphael, whose ass fell off.
That's weird.
and then I also remember for Christmas when I was 4 years old, my grandmother gave me a whole bunch of WWF wrestler figures. I had Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, Shawn Michaels.
Nice. And that Toybiz Batman figure, that was the one with the belt that would.
The belt, yes. Mine, the belt snapped off, and the arm came, and one of the arms came off too. And then my Joker, that's the thing I noticed about Toybiz figures growing up, is that they always were susceptible to breaking easily.
Yeah. My Joker figure basically blew apart into many different pieces, but and I don't even know what happened to the Batman. I think he lost some limbs. But
and I remember getting Wolverine and Juggernaut figures.
Nice.
For my birthday one year, and both of them lost arms.
Really? I had Cyclops. I had a few of the other figures. I even had the I forget what it was called. It was the Playset. It was it was it would fold out. It was like a cylinder. You know what I'm talking about?
It wasn't like the Danger Room or something.
No, the Danger Room was a small piece, but then a couple years later, like in '96, I want to say, they came out with like this main X-Men headquarters. So it was a really cool toy. Anyway, Thomas, what do you remember as your first action figure?
Well, I did have some like Batman action figures growing up, as well as also I did have like maybe a couple Spider-Man ones, as well as some X-Men ones. I still remember like having like some fun with the Cyclops action figure I had, like because there was this button, I think it was on the back of it, so
the glass.
the glass would light up red. So
My friend,
I'd even play with him in the dark.
I had that figure. It was a great sculpt on that one.
Oh yeah, I remember having this this Wolverine action figure. He came with some kind of like pack that made some sound effects, like made like the claws, that sound effect. Cool. Also had like some of like his lines that he would say in the cartoons as well. I don't really remember what it said, but I think it's something like, I got claws and I can use them, something like that.
how intimidating.
I like it.
Yeah. And interesting thing, I remember like, since you were saying that like your toys used to lose a couple limbs back, I remember like there's actually times where my dog used to get my action figures as a kid, so he would be able to like chew off some of the limbs. So yeah, that was always never fun. Why I would find like teeth marks on my action figures.
Oh my god, sounds like a scene from the first Toy Story.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, what do you remember as your first action figure?
Oh my god, I can't. But I'll just say, for the best lines that any toy company has ever had was Kenner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, agreed.
They had
Kenner was king.
Property. Yeah, it was crazy.
But if anything, like my first for the action figures, I have to give a nod out to for the one who got me into the action figures, and that's nod out to my cousin Jarrett Haberman. We've been like forever collecting of action figures. For the best, one of my first lines that ever I remember is the real Ghostbusters action figures. And I'm so excited that they are going to be re-releasing those. But of all places you can only get it at the store is Walmart, which I'm really upset about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they're sold out at this time. But
pre-order.
Okay, yeah, I need to get those as well.
But yeah, the real Ghostbusters were my first favorite of the action figures, and then Batman. Oh, you can't go wrong with Batman. Yeah. The 1989, the Batmobile, I had that. That was also. But I also like the animated series line as well.
Yes. And the vehicles in the Batman the Animated Series line were phenomenal too. They had like
I have the Batwing from that line. I still have it somewhere.
I only have the Batmobile from the revamped series, the new Batman Adventures in '97.
I've seen you bring to the studio several times.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I love that vehicle. It's I think it's still at the studio actually. But
actually, where is it? I saw this at Royal Collectibles. The Batman Returns in its original box. Catwoman action figure.
Oh wow!
Oh, that was one of the first figures I got too, but I gave it away to my friend's kid.
So yeah, basically superheroes. That's the theme here, and and all these superhero characters, they basically had a movie or an animated series out at the time. Forrest, do you have fond memories with your figures and maybe Saturday morning cartoons?
Not at the same. Not playing with them not playing and watching at the same time.
Okay.
But I do remember. Batman. Batman the Animated Series came out. I was stocking up on figures that I had all the Batman variants.
Same here.
Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. Also, like the Scarecrow, the Riddler. Strangely enough, Two-Face is the one villain that I never ever had.
Oh, I actually did have him.
I had the animated Two-Face.
Yeah, the animated one I had.
Yep, not animated, not Tommy Lee Jones or anything. Yeah, strangely. He was the one villain that eluded me. I did have Ra's al Ghul. I had Ra's al Ghul, but I did not have Two-Face.
Okay.
But I definitely remember. I would be like putting my Keaton Batman figures in the animated series Batwing, and they'd all be hanging out in my Batman Returns Batcave playset.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Which, let's just be honest, the Batman Returns and the Batman the Animated Series, it was the same Batcave place.
And they were originally designed for the Dark Knight collection, but Kenner decided to hold it off and release it under the Batman Returns line, because you could tell that the Penguin Lair set was originally Axis Chemicals, and the front of Wayne Manor was from the first movie.
Why did they hold off?
I think it was just because they were getting closer and closer, because there was a few toys that were supposed to come out on the Dark Knight collection that wound up either in Batman Returns or Batman the Animated Series, like the Joker Mobile was supposed to go in the Dark Knight, was supposed to come out as part of the Dark Knight collection, but that ended up being released as part of the Animated Series line.
Oh,
and then there was this other vehicle that ended up getting released. It was some sort of a dragster that got released. It was supposed to be on the Dark Knight collection, but it ended up being Kenner ended up repainting it and releasing it as the Robin Dragster for the animated series.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just a lot. They made a lot of toys for the Dark Knight collection, and I guess as they were getting closer to the releases of Batman Returns and Batman the Animated Series, they decided to repackage or repurpose some of those toys for that line.
Well, thankfully,
as a matter of fact, like, have you noticed, like, with the Kenner Batman Returns, how, like, the action figures actually looked like the characters from the movies? However, Penguin did not look like Danny DeVito, though.
Or think about this: like, how come
no, it looked like the superhero friends.
Yeah.
Now, the Penguin superhero friends back in with that line, it's the same action.
It's the same mold. Yeah.
Same mold for different colors.
Toybiz Penguin, yeah.
Yeah, they gave him a red bow tie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had that toy. I like that
and-
toy. With his little penguin, the umbrella missile. And,
Yep.
And
he put on his back.
Yeah, where he would fly up. You could recreate scenes from the movie. I saw her first. Gotta fly.
Oh God! Can you imagine saying something like, you imagine having your toys and just having one like saying, "Just the pussy I've been looking for."
Yeah, that would.
I'm surprised 5-year-old me never thought of that.
You know what? I saw a video fairly recently of this guy who, back in like 1992 when they first came out with the film, there was this film critic, a kid critic, who like wrote for a local paper or his school paper or something.
Really?
He was saying how violent and unbelievably inappropriate Batman Returns is, and how could this possibly be a kid marketed?
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Right. If you look back, it's a really inappropriate and violent film. But I mean, I was grew up with it. We love it.
I saw it in the theater when I was 4 years old, and it freaked me out.
Yeah, I was 7 or so, and I loved it. I brought my deep dive Batman action figure with me, the yellow one, I love Batman Returns. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, me too. Heck, that's actually how you and I met, Randy.
It's one of my top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah.
Now here's another Batman Returns action figure that was in there. This character was not even in the movie. It was Robin.
Mm-hmm.
I have that. I have that figure. Got it for Christmas.
Hold on a second. Be right back. What do I got? Okay, got Robin right here.
Yep, and he came with a grappling hook you can strap to his back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in fact, maybe I should probably show off a Batman Returns thing I have as well.
And it's definitely not Marlon Wayne's.
Yep. Just a little Batman Returns thing I have.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got Batman and Catwoman.
I never owned a Catwoman figure ever.
I think you're the only one here who did. You're the only one here who didn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually do have another Batman Returns thing. Hang on.
Well,
we got the famous. We got this famous one right here.
Nice.
Yep, I have that one too, but the ear got chewed off one of them for some. Well, the ear came off one of them.
Yeah, and something I really do like. If I could probably hold up a little closer to the camera right there.
Yep.
Now there actually looks just like Michael Keaton.
I know. And the
Yeah,
toy
He's got
is
the hair,
fun.
he's got the eyebrows and everything.
I feel like up to that point in time, that was probably the most accurate. That was probably the most accurate recreation of an actor
Yeah.
as far as action figures. Like
And
most painstakingly accurate action recreation of an actor at that point in time.
And, I think Toybiz, with their line, with their Batman line, they came up with 3 different sculpts for the face, I think. One was like a square jaw, one was a circular jaw, and then the third was a Michael Keaton-looking face.
I think I had the circular jaw.
Yeah, I had the circular as well. Yeah,
I think actually the ears were like a different length as well. Like,
oh, really?
Like I think like the
I
circular
remember
one had
having
smaller
that.
ears than the Michael Keaton looking one as well.
Yeah. Matt, do you remember? Did you have the original Toybiz Batman with the rope coming out of the belt?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all had that, right? That was like the go-to action figure for our generation.
Yeah, that was like a start. That was like a starter for many of us.
Yeah.
And I got a little Toybiz thing right here, a very rare one. It's Bob the Goon
Nice.
from the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie.
That's cool. But he
Bob
never
the
actually
Gun.
kicked. He never.
Oh yeah, actually it says like it comes with power kick, which he never kicks in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although at least it comes with like his gun that he used in the movie, as well as also his knife.
Yeah.
Knife.
That's accurate. But he never took his hat off. I know that.
Yeah, you're actually right. He never did take his hat off.
They should have just kept it on.
Yeah. Interesting thing is that the actor, I think his name is
Tracy Walter.
Yeah, Tracy Walter. Like he's actually commented on this action figure, say that he is immortalized.
Yep.
He could actually be
on the Batman '89 special edition DVD. He mentioned it.
Yeah, you said
Really?
that right in the DVD. So hey, he should be proud of that. He got his own action figure.
And a little bit of side trivia here. Tracy Walter, 2 years later, was in City Slickers with Jack Palance. So,
Really?
who was in
Wow.
Batman? Yeah.
Yep. Carl Grissom.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he may have been in another movie with Jack Nicholson as well, because I remember Jack Nicholson that he said that he suggested Tracy Walters for Bob the Goon.
Yeah, I think that movie was if I'm not mistaken, it's called The Two Jakes, and it's a sequel to Chinatown. Don't quote me.
I believe it is a sequel.
it's not good?
It is a Chinatown sequel.
But what was that the connection with Walter and Nicholson?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like some weird overlap with those movies. Matt, did you have any of the vehicles or the Batcave? Any of the Batcaves?
I think I did tell you that I did have the Batcave. Yes, I also had the 1989 Batwing. Oh, who remembers the Batwing?
Was that the one where it came with like a handle, like a gun, like you would hold it?
Yeah, it had like a handle with like a little blaster gun.
Yeah, with those plastic suction cup missiles. I had that.
Yeah,
And I
I think I may have had that too. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah. And
I also had the 1989 Batmobile.
Toybiz or Kenner?
Toybiz, yep.
Nice.
My favorite
Well,
Batmobile
yeah,
of all
well,
time.
What about the Joker van?
I had that. I actually had that later in life as a collector.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of the Toy Biz vehicles. As far as far as vehicles from the 1989 movie, from like the 1989 movie, all I had was the Bat Cycle and the Joker Cycle, both Dark Knight Collection.
You mean that Bat Cycle?
Yes, actually, I still have.
I've seen that.
This isn't actually a repurposed cycle from the RoboCop line.
Oh, wow.
Well, knowing Kenner, I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, nicely done. I know the vehicles were so cool. I used to collect them and have like a little garage in the back.
I want to try the Lego Batmobile.
Oh, the Lego Batmobile. Oh, wait a minute, Matt. You have that, or you want to get it?
No, I wish I could. Oh my God, it's so much money.
Because no, I know you've got the Ecto one and you've got the DeLorean. So
I've got the Ecto one sitting in my cubicle at work.
nice.
I got some Lego Batman stuff myself. But yeah, just like what Matt said, like I would really want to get that Lego 1989 Batmobile, but man, is it so expensive.
Yeah, that would eat up. That's almost my whole rent right there.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Wow. But
You know,
beautiful.
there's another line. I know we've been talking about Batman, but what about another good line? The Mighty Morphin Power.
Oh,
Yep.
I'll be honest, I was never a collector of that line. I used to watch the show religiously. I think it was on at like 4:30 p.m. every afternoon.
On Fox.
You there?
On Fox, and I would rush home from the playground and go make sure I catch the Power Rangers' latest adventure. But my friend had a bunch of the toys. They were pretty cool with the transformation features and all that. And
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of them. I had the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger. Both had the you click on the belt buckles and they would change their They would change into their helmets.
Yep. Yeah, I had those ones too. Yeah, like you press the belt buckle, like the heads would flip, so it'd be like their actual heads and then their helmets.
Yeah, and then I also had a Yellow Ranger figure, but that came with a motorcycle. That was from but it was the season 2 motorcycle that they never actually used in the show.
I also had like these Power Ranger action figures. I think they came out during the time of the movie. Like they had these buttons on the back, like they would either like karate chop or they would kick.
Huh. I remember those. Yep.
Yeah, they were cool. Matt, what were some of your favorite Power Ranger figures?
Definitely the flip heads ones. I had pretty much the whole line of it, but also I had like pretty much all the Thunder Zords.
Okay.
Like the Red Dragon Zord and the Tiger Zord, and I had the Thunder Zord Assault Team so they can make the Thunder Zord. Mm-hmm. Those are my favorites.
Cool. Well, something I realized was that throughout the 3 years that just Mighty Morphin was on, they had they put out, like Lord Zed, they put out all the minions and monsters that they created, but Rita Repulsa, who was the main antagonist of the show, never had her own figure.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh, really?
Well, or at least not until much later, until years later when all of us were adults.
Right, like as a nostalgic.
Yeah, that's true. There never was a reason.
Well, Lord Zed was a much more intimidating and more interesting villain.
Yeah, although he didn't come until the second season. But you think in that first season with all the monster figures they came out with, you'd think they'd put out the main villain who was responsible for all of them.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's like releasing. It's like making a TMNT line without the shredder.
Mm-hmm. And back to Ninja Turtles. Now that was a line. That was an action figure line for the ages. Matt, what are some of your early memories of the Ninja Turtles line?
Oh, I like the Super Playset. Okay. Anyone had the Super Playset?
I did. It was awesome, except I didn't have the Technodrome playset, which I always wanted.
I had the Technodrome.
Yeah, one of my best friends had.
I never had the Technodrome myself, but I think it was my friend who had it. So like whenever we would play with those action figures, we play with his Technodrome. I remember one cool thing was like the eye on the Technodrome would roll right off like a boulder.
Like a Raiders of the Lost Ark type of thing.
Yep.
I had like the first line, with April O'Neil and all the 4 turtles. I also enjoyed the movie Star Turtle line.
Yes, that was
Ninja Turtles 2.
I always wanted that one because I like the movie design. So, but I never got my hands on them.
I even like the third movie line with the detail in the skin. You see like these specks on the turtle's skin.
Oh,
probably the one good thing that came out of the third movie.
Yeah. That they were always great lines, and I used to love the attention to detail and the accessories. Like the weapons that they came with were really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
but I have to say, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 was a flop.
It was terrible, from what I remember. Even as a kid, I hated it.
I mean, I don't like the turtles and everything, but nothing gets with the engines.
I think Secret of the Ooze was that was it. That was the last good movie. I mean, I haven't seen the newer ones, the rebooted ones, but
you're not missing much with the reboot, with the live action.
Anything with the Shredder. Good. Oh, who remembers that show back on Fox? It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Back in Action.
That sounds familiar.
I think I remember that actually.
Was that live action or
yeah. Was that the live action one or?
It was a live
back in
action,
action.
and they put a fifth turtle.
Oh, that was the Next Mutation. That was a TV
that was Next
series,
Mutation.
Producers of Power Rangers.
Next Mutation. Sorry.
Yeah, like the fifth turtle was a female named Venus.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds familiar. Yeah,
but I remember that what happened was they were trying to make a fourth movie, but they couldn't get it off the ground, so they ended up turning it into a TV series for the producers of the Power Rangers.
It actually shows
yeah,
because it didn't have a Power Ranger.
I remember watching that. I remember coming home every Friday after school and watch that because that taught me it wasn't that good. It was terrible, but it was like at the time it was like the only turtle fix I could get.
Yeah, I think I stopped watching turtle stuff. I think they had a version of the animated series in like 1997. Like they kept revamping it every year or so.
Yeah, well, there is one good thing. I think it was like in 2003, they made another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series.
Right.
But then they did something with Turtles. They did a whole, I think it was like a made-for-TV movie, Turtles in Time, and it brought back...
Actually, it was Turtles Forever. Turtles Forever.
From like the 19 series and everything with it. And that was actually a good TV back in the stuff.
Well, you know what wasn't that bad? I think in 2007, if I'm not mistaken, they did like sort of another reboot.
The CGI movie.
Yeah, the CGI movie. That wasn't terrible, actually. The animation.
I actually
remember that one. Tmnt.
I actually went to like an early screening of that, and I got decked out. I wore a Michelangelo. I went to the theater wearing a Michelangelo mask.
Nice. A mask. Nice.
It was a cutout mask. It was a cutout mask.
Nice.
I remember when the first reboot came out, I remember having like customers at the movie theater I work at, like they were wearing, of course, the bandana masks, and they were like, "We should get them for free. We're the Turtles."
That's funny. We're gonna probably wear those masks now.
I will say though, as far as recent movies, I would definitely recommend checking out, if you have not watched it, Batman versus TMNT. It just came out. It went straight to Blu-ray last year.
Oh, okay.
And I would say it's the most fun I've had watching a Turtles movie since Secret of the Ooze.
That's that's based off the comic book, right? From a few years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I remember that comic. I actually read the comic.
Nice. Yeah.
And for me, that was one of those things that like I could only imagine like a 5-year-old me could have done with action figures back in the 90s. And so when that movie came, like bringing it back to action figure talk.
Yeah. It's like when you're a kid, you come up with interesting combinations and ideas for, scenarios for your playing time. But I never thought about combining the Turtles with Batman in my childhood adventures. So that's pretty cool.
For me, because those were the two biggest superhero franchises at the time in the early 90s. So
they were it.
I mean, there's always been collaborations in the comics, like the Ghostbusters collaborated with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collaborated with the Power Rangers.
And I feel like these are all crossovers these were all crossovers that we were only thinking of with toys. Yeah. And now they're making them legit.
Yeah. Better late than never, I guess.
Or maybe the people who were working on these things they like us were also imagining this stuff with action figures growing up.
But they're continuing that playful sense of adventure in their adult years, which is what we're doing right now, talking about it.
I've seen in the action figures today are not like the action figures that were back then.
Yeah.
At all.
No, it's disappointing. Though
at least the ones that are based off of like real life people like let's say like Harrison Ford or Sigourney Weaver. At least they look more like their movie counterparts than the older toys did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we mentioned this on Messenger, but is it NECA or NECA? NECA.
I pronounce it NECA.
Yeah.
I actually brought a couple NECA ones myself.
Oh, you have? And this is a company that comes up with very realistic action figures, sort of like the McFarlane company, which does,
Yeah, thought maybe I'd show this one, and I know that Forrest is going to like this one.
Yes.
Made to look like Tom Atkins.
Right. Yeah, I can. Definitely. Very accurate.
I need to see that. Is that from the director?
That's actually when we first met. Like we met at a retro show where they were screening this movie, along with Critters.
Critters.
An Angela figure for Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp action figure.
Sleepaway Camp.
I know Thomas is a big fan of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. I traumatized my sister with that movie once.
Nice. Thomas, I love you're like Santa Claus tonight. You've got all these toys with you.
Yep. Hey, speaking of Santa Claus, like here's one I know that Forrest would actually be interested in.
It's Billy, isn't it?
That's right.
No,
I know that Forrest actually has a little history with this movie.
Yep. That movie was filmed on my college. That movie was filmed on my college campus, and one of my professors was an assistant to the director.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Cool. Matt, what do you got? What is that?
It's
a Ghostbusters
one. Pretty good, Randy. If you don't,
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
If you don't
Winston?
know, I will
Winston?
not be happy.
Yeah.
Come on,
Winston,
be
right?
there for this.
No, I couldn't see, but yes, that is.
Yes.
It is signed by
Ghostbusters
Ernie
2 Winston
Hudson.
with a slime blower.
Oh man.
Yeah. Is it autographed by
Yes,
by Ernie
Perfect.
Hudson?
Perfect.
it's autographed by Ernie Hudson himself.
Is that when?
Nice.
That's when we meant to meet him, right?
Yep.
That was good. That was a good day.
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
I gotta say,
I confess, growing up, I did not have because I was a little young for the action figures.
Hmm.
Because by the time I was like old enough to be playing with action figures, they had Ghostbusters had pretty much vanished from toy shelves.
Yeah, like 91,
Right.
92.
Around, I would say around 91, 92. But I did luck out and with the because I had the proton pack.
Same
Well,
here.
actually, to the proton packs because I had the real Ghostbusters and Extreme Ghostbusters.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I remember the Extreme Ghostbusters.
You know, for one thing, I always like a proton pack, but my favorite of all for the Ghostbusters for like the role-playing toys was the Ecto Blaster, but we all knew it was the slime blower.
Oh, the purple one. It had
My cousin had the slime blower.
It had the Ghostbusters 2 label on it. It had the sticker.
Logo on the back. Yes.
Yeah.
But they called it the Ecto Blaster, but it was really the slime blower.
Definitely.
Yep. I remember playing. My cousin had it, and I would play with it when I went to his house.
I never actually played with it. What did it do? Did it shoot out something? Was it a water blaster?
Shoots out water.
It's a water
It's
blaster.
basically a water blaster.
Okay. That's cool. It looks
But
good.
you could probably add food coloring and make
It had
this
like a little tip with like
Make
a
it
pink
thick.
slime thing.
Well, my favorite of the Ghostbusters line was by far the Firehouse plate set. I don't know if any of you had that.
I actually did. I did
How
have that.
amazing!
My
that
dad's
was
coworkers'
Decoy.
kids had it.
I was
that
that was Wayne Manor. That was just like headquarters for villains all the time. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was such a Thomas. What are some of your memories of that toy?
Well, like I just still remember, like playing with my Ghostbusters action figures in those, and I'll even use some of my other action figures, some of my other superheroes, having them hang around in the firehouse as well.
Nice.
So it was basically almost like in my own command center to
Yep.
all my action figures, not just my Ghostbusters.
Speaking of command centers, another one I had was the Jurassic Park command center playset with the fence. It was the visitor center, but it also had a fence where you would have it
had the gate.
Yeah, that was an awesome toy as well, I must say, and also Ken.
Yep, and also some observations about Jurassic Park. First of all, the Dennis Nedry figure looked nothing at all like whereas the Bruce Wayne figure looked exactly like Michael Keaton. The Dennis Nedry figure looked nothing like Wayne Knight.
He had sunglasses on for some reason,
and he was a lot slimmer.
Right, he was kind of like muscular almost, sort of.
Yeah.
And they didn't come up with a Lex or
Lex. Neither did any of them. Not even Tim Murphy.
No, Tim had his own figure,
Tim
but
Murphy
Lex did not have her own figure.
Yeah, that was weird. They had a Sattler, right? They had an Ellie Sattler figure.
They had Ellie Sattler, who looked like Laura Dern.
Yeah, blonde, thin. They should have come out with a John Hammond, but who wants to play with a little fat old man? That's, I guess.
Or how come they didn't have Samuel L. Jackson's character? They could have given him. I mean, even though he didn't look like a badass, but they could. But Samuel L. Jackson, they could have given him a cool weapon.
That's true.
And it would have sold.
I know, and he had a cooler part than Wayne Knight, but whatever. I was happy when they came out with the Ian Malcolm figure in the second wave, so that was really cool, reuniting him with Dr. Grant.
I remember reading an interview with Jeff Goldblum in Nickelodeon magazine when I was a kid. It was around the time he was promoting Lost World, and the interviewee asked him, like, which action figure looks more like you, Ian Malcolm or the Independence Day, or because I forget his character's name from Independence Day, but they were asking to compare his action.
Those were terrible figures, by the way.
Oh yeah, I had one of the aliens from that line.
Yeah, I mean they were okay.
But he ended up saying Jurassic Park had the better representation of him.
Agreed. Yeah, it was kind of cool having a Bill Pullman action figure, but yeah.
Yeah, it just came out. It came out about 10 years too late, because then you could obviously get a Louis Tully figure, recreate Space. You can recreate that scene from Spaceballs and be like Dark Helmet.
Yes.
When do you think that the decline in the action figures started, you think? I think the decline in it started
when we hit puberty.
1997.
Yeah, like when we grew out of it. Like when we hit puberty.
Pretty much.
Although I know, I feel because like 98, I was collecting Resident Evil action figures.
Okay.
Although those were a little
around that time, I think I started collecting, like 98, 99. I started collecting the movie Maniacs line from McFarlane.
The only one I had from that line was Jason.
Yeah.
And which is sitting on my mantle in my living room. Back in New York, but unfortunately, it still has the axe and the spear, but unfortunately, the machete broke.
Oh, they're so the attention to detail is so good. Such a great line. Matt, did you have any of the movie Maniacs or any like Spawn figures?
I never got into those.
I was big into Spawn.
They're more. I wouldn't even call them toys. I would call them like little statues.
Well, a lot of the early Spawn figures were more. A lot of the early Spawn toys were more straight up action figures, and those are the ones that I had, like Spawn, Clown, Violator.
Back to play sets. Did you have Spawn Alley?
No, but I remember seeing at a yard when I was about 17. I was at my one of my neighbors was having a yard sale, and I saw it there.
In the box.
It was in the box.
Wow.
But I don't know if it had it was because it had been open, so I don't know if it had all the parts. And on top of that, I didn't have the cash for it.
Okay. I don't know how much it costs on eBay, but it's probably It's probably a little pricey these days. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I've always thought about like getting my hands on the Spawn Alley playset along with the Ninja Turtle Stewart playset, the Ghostbusters Firehouse, and the Spider-Man Daily Bugle playset, and try to recreate my own mini New York.
I love it. I love where your head's at. I think that's a bucket list item is to do that, to create your little city, your little New York City. I want to see that come to fruition. So guys, how about now? Let's just fast forward to now. It's 2020. Times are weird. Are we still collecting figures? Do we still have stuff, displayed on our mantle? What's going on, Thomas? What's going on now?
But yeah, I still collect them. I still collect them from time to time. So when I get the chance, I purchase them once in a while, and I pretty much keep them right in their boxes. Kind of like this right now.
Yeah, those are in great condition. They're in great condition, by the way.
Okay. Oh yeah. So basically what I do is hang them up on my wall through, of course, the hooks right over here. So and yeah, and heck, since they be in boxes like this, would be a pretty good collector's item maybe to get autographed or something by one of the celebrities.
Nice. Yeah, you never know if you're going to meet Michael Keaton. You never know. Jack Nicholson.
You never know. Yeah,
although I can't see Nicholson being the kind of guy to do meet and greets.
Yeah, that's not.
I mean, I have heard that Michael Keaton was just at some kind of Comic-Con in Texas, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was last year.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, and you won $200 for his autograph.
I think I would
worth it.
I would pay. I would consider paying.
I would pay it actually.
I mean, it's Michael freaking Keaton. How many times has that happened?
Oh, yeah. Well, heck, I still remember this was years ago. This is one of the last Comic-Cons I went to. I heard that Sylvester Stallone was there, and he was charging $600 for his autograph.
That's ridiculous. No.
Yeah, like when I heard about that, I was like saying, okay, as much as I like both Rocky and Rambo, I'm just saying, okay, this is not worth it.
Holy,
Yeah.
the most I ever heard was Mark Hamill doing 250. But
Oh, that's kind of odd, actually, because I met him actually one time at Comic-Con. He was only $100 when I met him.
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
That may have been 2009, I think.
So
I'm only guessing, but I think it was
he's
the last.
probably adjusting. He's probably like adjusting for like expenses and stuff.
Yeah. Well, since the last Jedi, his popularity has risen. So there's that. But $600 for Stallone? That's crazy. I know. I ended up paying. I paid $7.99 to see the last Rambo movie. That's how much he's worth to me. Nice. Matt, what's the most expensive photo op you've done with a celebrity?
I think the most is Ernie Hudson. I never really paid that much for this one I had when Ernie Hudson was at East Coast Comic-Con. That's how much I paid, like about, I think, was it $50?
That's the most expensive? Wow, that's cheap.
I think the most expensive for me is either Amy Steele, at a screening of Friday the 13th parts 2 and 4, $60.
I was that as well.
Yep, and then or it might have been, or I think it might have been, or my other one might have been William Forsythe, because I got a picture with him at San Diego Comic-Con, and I got an autographed photo of him as Flat Top in Dick Tracy.
Nice.
And
Dick Tracy was one of my favorite movies.
Forrest, is William Forsythe, what's he like in person? Is he a nice guy?
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, he was really nice.
Okay, that's good to know. I like to hear that.
Really laid back.
Okay, cool. I think the most expensive I ever paid was maybe $80 for the cast of Boy Meets World.
$80. That's just for the whole cast. That's a steal, man.
Yeah, it may have been more, but I don't think.
But still, $80 for the cast of Boy Meets World. That's a really good deal.
Yeah, it was Ben Savage, Will Friedle, and Danielle Fishel. So it might have been more but I don't think I ever spent more than maybe $100 on something. But Michael Keaton, yeah, I would. I mean, it's Batman. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's Batman.
What's the fate of San Diego Comic-Con this year? What's the fate of it? Because I've been hearing.
I mean, I'm assuming it's canceled. I mean, Forrest, you've been in the past. Have you heard anything about this year? Or?
I haven't heard anything about this year yet.
Right.
As long as it doesn't conflict with anything else that I might have planned around that time, then I'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
And as far as present day action figure collecting, I don't really spend as much money on them as much as I used to, because I have all sorts of other expenses to pay. Plus, every time my mom comes to visit and she sees a new toy, she gives me that "How old are you?" look.
Right.
But when Toys R Us was closing down a few years ago, I went there and I bought a 2-pack, this Aliens 2-pack. It was Ripley with a power loader.
Nice. And
the Alien Queen from Reaction.
Okay. I had the Kenner figures, and
I have them too. And I also had the drop ship and the power loader from that line.
Yeah, I just love that movie so much. It's so.
I was just watching it last night because one of the actors who played Newt's father in the extended edition died yesterday.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a deleted scene where he has the face hugger, right?
Well, yeah, they find the derelict ship, and he comes out with a face hugger attached to him.
Yeah, we have scored big time. Yeah, that's a great movie. And speaking of movies, since this is primarily a movie show, have you guys seen anything lately that's worth mentioning? Matt, anything you've seen?
The recent movie that I watched actually. Instant Family, which was on Epix. It was
Wahlberg.
Yep, on that. Yeah, a Mark Wahlberg movie. Funny, yet it was just like that kind of like a feel good type of movie.
Okay, that's cool. I think I caught part of Daddy's Home 2. I think it's because
was that the one with Mel Gibson?
Yeah, I wanted to see Mel Gibson's part I wanted to see his role in this movie, and he's really funny. And I mentioned this I think in previous episodes. It's on Netflix now. It's called Bloodfather, and basically it's an action thriller where he plays the father of this girl who's like kind of like wild, and she's like wanted by this drug cartel. And so Mel Gibson like becomes like this like overprotective father and like kicks ass, and it was a really good movie actually. And despite Mel Gibson's personal problems, he still got it.
I'll admit, I enjoy those. I enjoyed Mel Gibson's his VOD, his turn as his run. I've enjoyed his run as a VOD action star.
Yeah, yeah, he's good.
They're like delightfully trashy and exploitative.
Yeah, they're fun. They're mindless fun. So Thomas, have you seen anything lately? Anything good you want to mention?
Oh, nothing really of like new movies. I've been watching like tons of old movies as of lately.
Same
like
here.
one I think would be pretty interesting to mention is, I'm sure maybe like Forrest would want to see this movie too. I watched this low budget horror movie from the 80s, I think it was. It was called Slaughterhouse Rock, and like it was kind of like reminded me a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit. Basically, it's like about like these this guy who's having like these reoccurring nightmares that lead him to like these ghosts on Alcatraz. And so like that was actually the thing that interests me about that movie, is the fact that it was a little bit set on Alcatraz, because a few years ago me and my family actually toured Alcatraz when we were vacationing in California. And like of course like I could tell like the exterior shots were actually really Alcatraz, but the interior shots were actually not really Alcatraz.
Probably just some set.
Yeah, it was just like prison sets. And I could tell because like something I noticed when we toured Alcatraz is like that the cells did not have like keyholes, and I saw there was keyholes on the cell doors in this movie, so I can clearly tell that was not Alcatraz from the inside at least.
Thomas, how does it compare to the action movie The Rock, like the real life Alcatraz, and the Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage classic The Rock?
Or Escape from Alcatraz.
That too, yes.
Yeah. Well, like The Rock is like definitely one of Michael Bay's best movies. Like it's actually my favorite Michael Bay movie, for that matter.
There's only other good movie besides Bad Boys and the first Transformers.
I like Bad Boys 2 actually, but
yeah, I like Bad Boys 2. He didn't direct Bad Boys 3 though.
No, that was terrible.
I gotta disagree with you on that.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you.
I thought it was just terrible, but that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah. But yeah, like Escape from Alcatraz, like that's a pretty good Clint Eastwood movie. Like it's of course loosely based on the three inmates that escaped Alcatraz, who were possibly successful, or maybe they possibly died during their escape.
I think they got away.
No.
You think they got away?
I like to think they got away.
Oh, you like to think they got away? Okay, yeah. So like, I mean, I don't know. Like, none of us know to this very day if they ever really successfully escaped, or if they died and then maybe their bodies are in San Francisco Bay these days. It's unknown to this very day.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, probably The Rock is one of my favorite, like, Alcatraz set movies. I mean, heck, you cannot, like, compete with Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, the whole welcome to the Rock.
Yeah.
So you cannot compete with that. I mean, heck, even Michael Biehn was really cool in that movie, seeing him in, like, some bondage marine gear, kind of like in Aliens.
He's always a soldier, every movie, pretty much every movie.
Yep.
Typecast.
Except the Abyss and Planet Terror. Well, I think those are the only times I've never seen him. I have never seen him play a soldier.
Well, I thought in the Abyss he was sort of like a Navy.
Oh, he was a Navy SEAL in that one. Is that type of soldier though?
No, that was Navy. No, you played Navy SEAL in Navy SEALs
and The Rock. And in
the Abyss, but I think in the Abyss he was just like they were just underwater terraformers or something.
I thought they were
Michael Biehn. Oh yeah, I got to tell you, Michael Biehn, and I have his autograph.
I do too.
Wait a minute, man. When did you get his autograph? What was that?
WinterCon.
Oh, I don't think I knew about that. That's cool. Okay, and you too, Thomas. Okay. I'm a little jealous.
Yes, when I met him at Chiller.
All right. Chiller Theater. Nice. Forrest, any movies you want to mention? Or?
Oh, God. Because I've been watching a lot of movies, too. Mostly older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most recent movie I saw, I was watching it today. It's called Chronically Metropolitan. It was on Netflix, but I would say it was chronically awful.
Okay.
As far as the actors, the only ones I recognized were Ashley Benson, who was I thought she was great in Spring Breakers, and she was wasted in this movie.
Oh.
Mary Louise Parker, who I also love and was wasted.
Okay.
And then Josh Peck, who did a bunch of stuff with Nickelodeon years ago.
Okay.
Those are the only actors I recognized in that movie, and it was just really like self-indulgent, navel-gazing bullshit.
Okay. Good to know. All right. As for me, I've been on a Dustin Hoffman kick this month, because ever since the quarantine, even before the quarantine started, I actually rewatched Outbreak, and it was on Netflix, still on Netflix.
I saw Tootsie and Hooker on Netflix right now too.
Tootsie I caught up on Netflix as well. That's a great movie, by the way. And actually, the other day I rewatched All the President's Men, which he co-stars with Robert Redford, and basically they play Woodward and Bernstein trying to get started the investigation for the Watergate issue with Nixon. But yeah, I don't know, just something about
I think we lost Matt. Oh, there you are.
But yeah, just something about Dustin Hoffman. He's so real, like he's so down to earth and quirky and weird and funny. And right now he's like my favorite actor of the month. So I want to pretty much see everything he's done.
Yeah, actually, as far as actors I recently went on a Jean-Claude Van Damme kick.
Cool. I've been meaning to see JCVD. Thank you. Yes. Is that hilarious? As it looks? Is it funny?
It's more of a dark. I would say it's more of a dark, it was more like a dark, dry humor.
Okay, cool. I got it. That's on my list. So.
Also recently went on a kick for like movies based on Dark Horse comics.
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine a lot of people think of like Dark Horse has had a lot of movies come out in the last 27 years, but nobody ever thinks about like Dark Horse the way they do DC or Marvel. In terms of like being adapted into other media.
I when I was a kid, in like 1993, I collected like every single Predator and Alien and Aliens versus Predator comic book by Dark Horse Comics. They really did a great job.
I remember getting the PC game for Christmas back in '99 and playing the hell out of that thing.
Yep.
I never beat it.
Fun times. So guys, we're about out of time here. Any plugs? Is there anything going on we want to mention? Any promotions? Matt, anything? Did we lose Matt? Matt? Okay, Thomas. Any
there's Matt.
Oh, wait. Matt, is there anything you want to mention? Any plugs?
If anyone wants to, there's a good comic series to read if you can. Dick Tracy in Time.
Is that IDW?
Dick Tracy.
I'm a huge Tracy. I'm a huge Tracy nut. Like Tracy, along with Batman and the TMNT, were my holy trinity growing up. So, wait, but is this a new series from IDW?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. I gotta get on that.
Is it just it's just Dick Tracy? Is he teaming?
Yeah, it's a 4-part series, 4-part comic series.
Yeah, IDW's been doing a lot of Dick Tracy Dick Tracy miniseries lately.
Warren Beatty's not.
And a new Ghostbusters series.
Oh, that's cool. I got to catch up with that stuff, those comics. Thomas, anything you want to plug or mention?
Well, as of right now, the retro picture shows that my friend Michael Ciani runs, right now they're on hold right now due to the fact that the Cinema Arts Center is closed for a bit.
Right.
So, but we do hope, of course, we get those ones back on track. That's something I could probably mention with, the shirt company, of course.
Nice.
Gutter Garbs is just yesterday, they just released some new shirts for John Carpenter's movie, The Fog, one of my favorite John Carpenter movies.
Great one.
So they got some pretty cool Fog shirts now. So go for those.
Has the retro picture show, has Michael mentioned anything about maybe like an online watch party or something?
As of right now, no. He's hopefully he can possibly since his next show was of course going to be The Fog and Escape from New York, but right now that's on hold because, of course, the
Yeah.
quarantine. But
Actually, they were
hopefully,
supposed to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre this month.
yeah, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and 3 is probably going to be next month. If I'm sure the theater will be open hopefully next month. So
Yeah.
got our fingers crossed, of course, that could actually go for that.
I was really looking forward to the John Carpenter double feature. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, let's just cross our fingers for it.
Yes, cross them. Boris, anything you want to plug? Anything going on?
Well, since it's Francis Ford Coppola's birthday, I was going to watch Dementia 13 tonight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you saw my my birthday meme for him today.
I did.
He is a legend. He is partly responsible for the new Hollywood. So we thank him for that, and we wish him.
And also he has one of his movies is in my bottom 5 movies of all time.
Which one?
Jack with Robin Williams.
I saw that in the filmography, and I'm like, is this a mistake? He directed that? I was like very surprised by that. Like, he did The Godfather. What is he?
Well, heck, he also directed that short film with Michael Jackson, Captain EO.
Oh yeah, that was music by James Horner, the late great.
But then look at Martin Brest. That guy went from Beverly Hills Cop to Gigli. So
that's a good point. Well, yeah, he kind of went down as well. He did Scent of a Woman, so that was pretty good. But
that was in between.
That's true. So down and down and down. All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it for tonight. I want to thank all of you, as always, for being on the show. This is a new thing, Off the Hook, the action figure discussion. And we'll probably do it again in the very near future. So, guys, I want you to have a very
awesome.
I want you to have a very safe and pleasant evening. And I'll talk to all of you
thank you
very soon. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Randy.
Anytime, guys.